Hey guys, what is going on? You are checking out an all-new The RCWR Show, covering the very latest in wrestling entertainment and beyond, and been doing so since 2011. Lee Sanders here. We are coming at you guys for this Thursday night of June the 13th, 2019. Kind of weird, right? I mean, we hit you guys up and we go with the whole Wednesdays. We say Wednesdays, we got you. And then we switched it up. We came on a Thursday. Very good reason for that. NHL Stanley Cup. That's pretty much what was going on. I know there were definitely a lot of you guys out there that was a little bit curious what was going on with that game. I gotta say, ever since the Washington Capitals had won last year, and I kind of came a little bit late on board to checking out hockey, I gotta tell you, I never was really a fan of hockey growing up, but I would have to say within the last 3 years, off and on, I've been checking out more and more games. I don't usually get to check out the full regular season. I usually start paying attention right around the playoff time, right? And some people would say, that's what really counts anyway, right? But past 3 years, I would say I really started getting into the hockey. And so for me, I really was paying attention when I saw how far the Washington Capitals were able to go. And then from there, it was, okay, you know what? Let me come on back. Let me see what's going on. So I've only been watching a handful of the games with regards to the Stanley Cup playoffs and everything, or NHL playoffs and all that. But I got to tell you, look, shout out to St. Louis. They were the more hungrier team. They got the job done last night. Big shout out to them. I know Boston Bruins fans, they are not feeling what happened with their team last night. I tell you, it was the talk at work the other day before the game had happened. And the talk was, okay, who you going with? Who you think is going to get it? Because we got a lot of hockey fans at work. And a lot of people felt that St. Louis was the more hungrier team. They were the ones that seemed destined, and a lot of people kind of said, Boston is always winning some type of championship left and right. You know what? It's time for a change. Yeah, what the hell? St. Louis, right? So, me, I really was under the impression that Boston was going to be able to do this. So much so, I jumped out there and I said, as far as the final score goes, it's probably going to be 3-2. Boston, they got that. They got that. But if you would have told me the day after that St. Louis would not only win, but they would do so in such dominating fashion to the point that Boston would not score a point, I would say, wait, what happened? Like, did Boston actually show up? Seriously, what the fuck was going on? What game was actually on? Was it actually a game, or did somebody turn on some NHL 2020 from EA Sports or something? Like, what exactly went down? So, shout out to them. I mean, we had the game on Wednesday night. We had the game on Wednesday night. I got my days mixed up. You guys got to forgive me. Yeah, we had the game on Wednesday night, and it did not make sense to be live on the air while that game was on. So I had decided, okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead, push the show back to Thursday. That way, there will be a lot more that we can talk about. And as we're doing the show right now, we are about maybe 90 minutes or so away. Yeah, about 90 minutes or so away from Game 6 of the NBA Finals. Crazy. That's just crazy. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a hot second. And for you, talk about the wrestling. We got to talk of the wrestling that's going to be happening. You know how we do it on this show. But on a good note, now that the NBA playoffs, the finals, all that is pretty much done this week, on a more positive note, the RCWR show is going to be moving back to Tuesday night. So for those of you that were used to checking out the show on Tuesday nights, maybe you have fit your schedule pretty solid, we're going back to Tuesday nights, right? So we'll be coming on live as soon as SmackDown goes off the air. So that should make a lot of you guys happy. But then again, if it's a case where, I don't know, Lee, I think maybe you should come on this night instead. You know, feedback, very important. Reminds me, we haven't done it in a couple of years, but I'll probably maybe get together some type of a survey monkey that you guys can do online, and you can let me know what's been going on with the show, how you've been enjoying it so far. While I'm thinking about it also, as far as the feedback goes, I do appreciate those of you that have went out of your way to review the show, whether it's on iTunes, Stitcher, what have you. I was just out of curiosity. I usually check once every 3-6 months just to see what's going on, and we had got some new fresh reviews that were left. So shout out to those of you that had left the reviews on those outlets. Do appreciate it, and if you have not done so, please, I always tell people, if you love and appreciate the show, the best thing you can do, one of the most cool kick-ass things you can do, is spread a good word about it. And the way to do that is to sign off by posting a review and all that. It always helps, It's weird because over the years we've had some people that have tried to go the petty route with leaving the ratings and reviews, and it's like, you guys do know. Well, no, you don't know. Now you do know, but I have connections to the people that work at some of these platforms. So I remember there was one time a couple of years back, somebody was upset because, they were upset because, I'm trying to think what it was exactly. It was on the tip of my tongue and then I lost it. That's just how it happens, folks. Old age. But no, seriously, let me jog my memory a little bit. I remember somebody had left a review because it didn't even have anything to do with the show, from what I recall. It was something isolated that had nothing to do with the show, no type of beef or anything like that. It was a weird review, and it was like, how is this relevant to the show? This doesn't help the listeners whatsoever. Like, what the fuck? And I got in contact with customer support because I had a couple of connections. I was like, this review, it's bogus. What the fuck? Like, oh, yeah, no problem. We get rid of it. No problem. So, yeah, you appreciate the show, man. Feedback. That's one of many things you could do. Spread a good word about the content, man. Appreciate that. My week has been great. I hope your week has been pretty solid. I know we got Father's Day. That's going to be coming up this weekend. Who's your daddy? Who is your daddy? Let me tell you something. You are not the father. A little Maury for you there. I'm excited. It's been a really good week. Week was kind of what the fuck yesterday. Yesterday I had a rare day off from work, and for very good reason. I was supposed to, and you've been following me throughout social media, you know this, but I had a rare day off yesterday as I was supposed to go to the dentist's office, and I was supposed to begin my Invisalign. And I tell you, the weirdest fucking thing goes down. So I get all the way. I'm like about maybe less than 5 minutes from walking inside the building and riding the elevator up to my appointment. And then I get a text message from my girl. And she goes, "Oh, hon, I am so sorry. But they moved our training up by a day, and so we're actually getting ready to close the office down, and we're getting ready to go do our training." And I say, wait, what? Yes, I'm so sorry, but we're getting the training done today. And it was like, well, wait a minute now. You guys just confirmed me yesterday, did you all not? So between yesterday and today, how is it missed that I do not receive a courtesy call letting me know that my appointment has been changed? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do we miss that? How do we miss people that were, not just me, I would imagine there was a few more other people as well. How do we all get caught up in the crosshairs like that, where we don't receive a courtesy text or a courtesy call? And she said, I know, it sucks, but hey, on a good note, we can get you in anytime next week, whether you want to come in after work. And honestly, that's what we should do. At least if you come in after work, you're already familiar with the team that's worked with you before. You said you like them. I said, yeah, I do like them. Okay, so sure. I was really excited too, man. I mean, I shaved my head. I had put on some nice new threads. I was feeling all good. I took extra. I've been taking extra good care of my mouth and everything, but I was taking even more particular extra care of my mouth yesterday, right? Getting it all nice and hooked up for them. And yeah, that shit happened. So to say disappointment would be an understatement. But it's going to be happening next week. I can't wait. I mean, look, if you were to find one positive thing, I guess on a good note, the fact that I can drink cola sodas for another week, right? Preferably diet sodas. I can drink tea. I can have a little bit of coffee. No cream, no sugar. I mean, that's great, right? That's not too bad. I'll take the bitter with the sweet, because Lord knows once I start the whole damn Invisalign, that's pretty much it. So fucking sucks, but yeah, it is what it is. Speaking of sodas, last weekend me and the missus, we went out, did a little bit, tiny bit of grocery shopping. I see out the corner of my eye as we're grocery shopping, orange vanilla Coke Zero. I'm in fucking heaven. I go, holy shit, this is the shit. I had the original regular orange vanilla Coke. I had that, and I loved it. I loved how that had tasted, man. I was like, goody, this is the shit. Felt too sugary, and I really can't be having sugary stuff, right? But I said, okay, well, if this is the zero version, I can't really go wrong with the zero version, right? So I grabbed a case, and thank God I did, because originally I was going to grab 2 of those motherfuckers. And my girl goes, no, just grab 1. You might not even like it. So wouldn't it make more sense if you're just stuck with 1 case? Okay, I have a good point. All right, sure. But I'm pretty damn confident. Oh, I'm going to love this shit. This shit is tasty. This shit is yummy. Have the first can, and it tastes like something is missing. Now, no shit, real sugar. But aside from that, it's really weird, because when you first drink it, for anybody that hasn't tasted this version, when you first drink it, you taste the orange, you taste the vanilla, right? And I mean, the way it just mixes together and the way it heightens your taste buds and all that, it's fucking awesome. But then, after about maybe 30 seconds of letting it sit in your mouth a little bit, swallowing, right? That's when you start to taste it's like an aftertaste, and you're like, what the fuck? And then it really starts kicking in. Now, I don't know if that's a combination of the aspartame and whatever else that's missing from the orange vanilla Coke regular, but after, like, within seconds, you are just feeling that way, and you're kind of like, And not to mention, it's much flatter than regular. I can't believe how flat that thing was. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, when I used to drink regular Coke all the time, years back, man, you could pop open a can of whatever Coke. You could either put it with ice and it's chilling, or you could just put it in a cup and it's chilling, right? You just leave it there, come back maybe 30 minutes later, an hour later, hell, maybe even 90 minutes later, and it still got kick to it. So it's all that shit, right? But this one, oh man, you could forget about all of that shit. All of that shit is just pretty much, it's flat as fuck. I mean, you first open it, I mean, it's got the nice sound effect, all that shit, right? Pour it into your cup and all that. Yeah, I mean, all of that sounds beautiful. Put it in your mouth. Wait a minute. Nastiest fucking diet soda I've ever had in my entire life. Nastiest. Just nasty. I took a couple of cans to work, and I pretty much was just, they gotta go! I'm giving them away! Everything must go! So I have probably about maybe 2 cans, maybe 3 cans left. I'm going to take those, finish it off. I said to the missus, I said, you're going to help me out with, nope, that's all you. I need to have the regular shit. I'm like, okay, way to be a team player, right? You don't want to join me in my suffering. Okay, all right, show you right. But nasty. Shout out to Ben, by the way. Ben from Awesome Con. We were going back and forth for like about 10 minutes on Twitter talking about sodas. And there was one soda, I think the name of the soda was Mezzo or something like that. Mezzo. I always have a hard time saying that name properly, but he hit me with a classic name of a soda in that, and I said, dude, that's a soda I have not thought about in years. I thought they were fucking defunct, and he was like, nah man, they are still around, they're kicking. You can usually find them in supermarkets, definitely mom and pop supermarkets. They also got them down in Florida. I'm like, okay, well, I got to keep that in mind. You know, I do have a wedding coming up and everything next year. It is going to be in Florida, so gotta definitely keep that in mind. But yeah, anybody that has not tried that yet, stay clear from it. I know there are those of you, maybe you're a diabetic, or maybe you are trying to do your very best to stay away from the sugary stuff, and you're trying to look for alternatives and all that. That's one alternative. Trust me, you will thank me later. That shit is fucking nasty, right? I mean, me and a coworker were thinking about it today because he had tasted one of the cans I brought him, and I told him, hey, when you have it, let me know what you think. And he told me later on, and you know, he likes all. He's got a sweet tooth, right? So he likes them all. But he was like, yeah, he's like, it's not good. And I said, so how would you rate it? And he goes, well, if I were to rate it, I would probably say Diet Coke, number 1, Diet Cherry Coke, number 2, whatever other Diet Cokes or Diet Sodas I've had, I'm going to put those ahead of this one. This one would be my bottom of the bottom list. It's like, damn, it's like that. He's like, yeah, it's like that. So stay clear of that one for those of you that are fans of diet sodas, but you care more about your taste. You know, so look, since last we were on the air, as far as the whole sports and all that goes, yeah, we were just talking about it earlier. We got Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. That's going to be going down. Who am I going with? I mean, personally, I would love to see a Game 7. Personally, I would love to see a Game 7. And to see a fairy tale story in the Golden State Warriors coming back from such a deficit, injuries and everything, for them to just come back Game 7, win it all under the circumstances that has happened to this organization pretty much going into the playoffs. It would be one of the most talked about and well documented, well chronicled stories in NBA history that would live on for years to come. I mean, it would be right up there with, oh, remember that game and Michael Jordan was sick, he had the flu and he scored the points and the team won, blah this, blah that, right? So there's that selfish part of me that wants to see a Game 7. I mean, the fact that this game tonight is going to be happening at the Oracle Arena one last time, and the fans, the Golden State Warrior fans, they are going to be representing strong, right? They are going to be just, I can only imagine the roof is going to be off of that joint. It is going to just be off the chains. So with the home crowd, everything just going in Golden State's favor, I would really be shocked if Golden State was not able to get the job done tonight to force a Game 7. But if they were able to force a Game 7, I would just like to believe that potentially Golden State is going to win it. I mean, stranger things have happened, but I mean, look, I'll be honest with you guys. I will be totally honest with you guys. Golden State Warriors bench, as far as offense goes, they're kind of lacking right there. I mean, it's definitely been inconsistent. I mean, that's great that you got the Splash Brothers, right? That's great you got Steph Curry, and you know, he's doing his thing, but you need more than that. You need more than the Splash Brothers, Klay Thompson. You need more than those guys. You know, what type of Draymond are you going to get? What type of Boogie Cousins are you going to get, right? I mean, all of those things, you got to have more than just 2 guys scoring. You got to at least have 4 guys, all of them pretty much scoring 20 points or more in order to win this fucking game. And then don't even get me started on the injury that had went down with my man Kevin Durant. That was just I had a hard time processing that. I really, really did. I know all of the major sports radio shows and the networks. I know they had their fair share of it, but I know there's you longtime listeners. You know how much of a basketball fan I am. You're hearing me for the first time react to what all had went down, and I can only tell you this from a standpoint of what I saw in real time, and then just kind of pretty much go from there. When I saw KD go down, I said, oh, that doesn't look too good, but okay, he's okay. He's just going to shake it off. But then when 2 seconds sitting on the floor turned into 10, I mean, it seemed like he was on the floor sitting for at least 30 seconds, and I see him just grabbing the back of his heel and all that, kind of grabbing and doing like a pinching motion type of thing on the back of his ankle. I'm going, shit, that's not good. That does not look good whatsoever. And to see his teammates come, pick him up, and then he's walking. I'm looking at how he's walking. I'm going, okay, this isn't that bad. All right, he's just probably going to get it checked out. Maybe it's a little minor sprain. He's okay. He's just going to rest up. He'll be back in the second half. But then what really sealed the deal for me was when he said, fuck. I mean, of course, they censored him. But when he said fuck, it was pretty much, oh, man, here we go. Something ugly just went down. This is not good whatsoever. Well, fingers crossed, throwing up some Hail Marys for the guy, because that's the last thing you want to see is a player suffer any type of an injury, right? Especially an injury where they're going to be sidelined for more than a week or a couple of weeks, right? I mean, when it's all said and done, this is their passion. This is what they've been going to the gym. This is what they've spent hours in preparation, the whole 9 yards, right? They've played for moments like this where your team is in the playoffs, your team is in the finals, and you're just a couple of steps away. You're a heartbeat away from winning the whole thing. And this is your opportunity to really, okay, let's tighten the fuck up, right? Tighten that jock strap up real tight. Let's go out there. Let's get it done, right? This is about representing the team. This is about holding down the fort, standing your ground, showing that you could be a team player and everything, and powering through your injuries or whatever. And I mean, I find that very admirable, a very good, strong, admirable trait for anybody in any profession, anybody that considers themselves an athlete. I appreciate and respect them tremendously for trying to push through and really, hey, trying to be there for my team. And that's exactly what KD had tried to do. But something smelled fishy right away. Something smelled fishy from the moment we heard Steve Kerr say, oh, he's going to play unlimited. It's not going to be restricted minutes. You're going, wait a minute. Say what? The guy hasn't done 5-on-5 shoot around extensively. He hasn't done an excessive amount of training. You pretty much just have him play literally 1 3-on-3 game or whatever. And okay, so he's gotten the green light to play. Something doesn't quite sound right. What the fuck is going on? And that's where I'm really having a hard time wrapping my brain around, because you guys got to bear with me. Okay, so from the head coach to the doctor giving the second opinion, to Kevin Durant's agent, to his PR team, like collectively it was unanimous. All right, he's good. Yeah, go ahead, go play. And then this happened. Now, Steve Kerr shed a little bit more light on the situation, basically saying with the information that they were given, the worst case scenario that could have happened, like 1 out of a million shot, basically, was Kevin Durant tears his calf muscle. And you're kind of like, well, I guess that's not really too bad, right? It's a lot better than going out there and, freaking tearing your Achilles, right? It's better than that. Well, the worst happened. So again, you're kind of, well, wait a minute, how could, and I'm just reminded of Kawhi Leonard when the shit went down with Kawhi Leonard and he was getting the information that he was getting, and Kawhi just really listened to his body and was like, nah, man, something just does not feel right. I'm not going to go through with this. I'm not going to force this. I'm not going to play. And he went outside of the Spurs organization and went and got a independent MRI consultation and all that. And basically it was, yeah, you might be risking some shit if you go back in there. Yeah, you should really rest up, let that heal itself, clean up, rehab, blah, 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 blah. So in the case of Kevin Durant, we aren't really going to know until a couple of months down the road. But one of the questions I have for Kevin Durant is, were you listening to your body at any time? And if so, what was your body telling you? Was your body telling you that, hey, we're okay, we're feeling pretty good, we've got nothing to worry about, let's go out there and let's get it done? Was he feeling any type of slight trepidation, right? Was there any type of a warning that he's rushing, coming back too soon? That's what I'm most curious about. Or was it just a case where Kevin Durant was just really engulfed with, I gotta get back. I gotta get back. I gotta go play with my team, because even if I'm not at 100%, if I can just be at least at 80%, that's good enough for me. I can run with that. So I'm very curious just how all of that, his mindset, everything, right? I mean, of course, you also have to factor in the scrutiny that Kevin Durant was probably dealing with, right? That is a guy that pays attention to everything that is said about him, news media outlets, social media. He's had a few burner accounts. We don't need to go into the whole spiel, but he pays attention to what people are saying about him throughout social media and the press. So, of course, if he does not play, then you've got the narrative of, well, Kevin Durant didn't play. What would have happened had Kevin Durant played? Would they have won the championship? And then you have the other question, which is, well, damn, if Kevin Durant can play, why doesn't he play? Why is this guy, oh, you see what he's doing? He's just basically keeping himself nice, fresh, and healthy so he can be okay during the free agency market. I mean, he's pretty much done with Golden State Warriors anyway. He doesn't give a damn about the Golden State Warriors. So you've got that scrutiny as well. So it's really weird, right? It's almost a double-edged sword, so to speak, because to a degree, no matter what he does, it's like he fails either way, right? There's just no pleasing everybody. So to see the end result basically be him, I'm going to play, and he has a torn Achilles. I mean, understand something with that type of injury, right? You know, with that type of injury, we've seen a lot of people make comebacks. I mean, just to kind of think about all of the times in pro wrestling, we have dealt with wrestlers that have had some type of a injury with their rotator cuff, right? Or think about any time they've had a problem with their ACLs, right? And they're able to come back stronger than before. They're moving better than before. But very rare do you hear of someone coming off of a torn Achilles, and, you know, it's like they are just picking up right where they left off. Not to mention, you think about the domino effect as far as Kevin Durant physically putting himself out there, and now he has this severe of an injury. He's going to be out for a whole year at least. A whole year. So keeping that in mind, you're like, wow, so your endorsement deals, whatever you had going on, now that's pretty much on hold because of what's going on. And then, of course, the bigger question, is he going to re-sign with Golden State? A lot of signs are kind of indicating maybe he's going to head on over to the Knicks, but I'm like this, man. If you ask me straight up, look, I ain't no expert, none of that shit. But let me tell you something. I would like to believe most people that just have good common sense, if there was any slight possibility of hope of staying with the Golden State Warriors, that's now out the door. And I would believe that's out the door because you look at the decision that was made. You're telling me out of all of those people, not one person, not one, had the common sense to say, KD, look, got to keep it 100 with you. This is what's probably going to be going down. If you go back in there, this is probably what's going to happen. So are you sure you want to risk it? For everybody to just be on the same page like that, I don't know, man. For me, it just feels wrong on so many levels. It smells like a cover-up. And for me, I just would not want to have any part of that organization anymore. I just would not. Now, some of you may say, well, man, Lee, if it was a conspiracy, then damn, that's kind of fucked up. Because what, you think they would want to sabotage KD like that? Yeah, if it means them getting a championship. Desperate people, desperate clubs, desperate organizations will do XYZ all in the name of that W. You know, it's sad but true. And I mean, honestly, I would like to believe, for as long as you and me, everywhere, everybody all around the world has watched the NBA, that if it was a case where Golden State Warriors were 3-1, just hypothetically speaking, just imagine Golden State Warriors were 3-1 and they pretty much were getting ready to go, win the championship. They're just sitting at a nice, comfortable record, 3-1. Or hell, you could say 3-2. Would the talk be even about Kevin Durant? No. It would not even be about Kevin Durant. Swear to God, it wouldn't be. But because of where the team was just a couple of days ago, Kevin Durant. And I'm sure that kept getting in the ear of Kevin. I'm sure that fucked with his psyche, and he tried. He tried to power through it, and now you see what the fucking end result is. I would like to believe that anybody that might be in that, I would like to believe that anybody that looked at this situation that went down with Durant, how could you want to stay with that organization afterwards? How could you even re-sign? Like, he just needs to be done with them. He does. If the Knicks or whoever, I mean, he still has a nice, good, he's going to command whatever, salary-wise. He's going to command it. No shadow of doubt about that. He's going to get his money. Let's make no mistake about that. The real question is, which organization is going to give him the time, they're going to give him the patience, they're going to give him the space that he needs to just be concerned about one thing, rehabbing, breaking in his family and whatever new neighborhood that they're in, situated with schools for the kids or whatnot, all of the typical stuff that we don't think about as basketball fans. What organization is really going to give him the space? It's already well documented. He always felt a little bit uneased, I guess is the right word, or a bit rattled being out there in Los Angeles. He never really was able to adapt to that, right? So, just combining all of that, the injury, I honestly, I don't care where he goes. I don't care who might be able to land him. What I'm most concerned about is just giving him the patience, giving him his space, everything that he needs as far as rehabbing. That's all he needs to be worried about. I wouldn't even be KD in the playoffs. I wouldn't even be worried about that. I would not. I know for a team like the Knicks and a couple of others, the way that they're kind of looking at it, man, if we can get a guy like Kevin Durant and then kind of hold the fort down for like 3/4 of the next season, oh man, and then we can have him back and going into the playoffs. It's not I mean, that's what I mean when I say you need to have an organization / club that is going to have as much patience with Kevin Durant as much as humanly possible, because you're not going to be able, I mean, realistically, you're not going to be able to take a guy that's going to be injured for a whole damn year, and then you just, knock on wood, have luck on your side where you're able to go into the playoffs, and then, okay, all right, well, Kevin Durant is 100% healthy. We can now insert him into, no. It's not going to work like that. Whatever your composition is of your team that is doing what they needed to do in order to get to the playoffs, that's probably the team that you want to ride with all the way through the playoffs, no matter what. Because if you're gonna insert somebody new, just that one person could throw everything else off. I mean, depending, if it's a big man, if it's a guard, maybe not so much. But if you're talking about a point guard, then I mean, most of the positions now in the NBA is point guard. But you get the point that I'm making. To just throw somebody in there, it's like, nah, you need to have at least 20 to maybe 40 games to really, half of the NBA season basically, to really break in and, okay, we're clicking, we're finding that chemistry. All right, great, right? So realistically, I just don't see Kevin Durant being reactivated. I don't see that for whichever organization going into the playoffs. I just don't see that happening. What I see happening is just him rehabbing, and if anything, so basically the 2019 to 2020 season, yeah, you can forget about that. But the 2020 season to 2021, that I can definitely, without a shadow of doubt. So the real question is, boys and girls, what organization is going to have that patience to just allow KD take care of himself, take care of his family, and basically worry about basketball during the 2020-2021 season? That's just where I'm coming from on that one. Y'all could definitely sound off. Let me know what you think about that one, but that's where I stand on that. See, what else can we get into here? All right, so, excuse me, on that note, since last we were on the air with you guys, last show we did for you guys, it was Super Showdown, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the WWE Super Showdown post show. Look, I ended up watching that pay-per-view a second time in its entirety. I still feel the way that I do about that pay-per-view card. Now, look, I know we've had guys like JBL, Mark Henry, Booker T, Mick Foley. There's been a decent amount of people who have spoken up about that one match. That match in particular with Goldberg taking on The Undertaker. And a lot of them, tried to defend those guys. And I respect a lot of these men that are stepping up, talking about it. Now, some could say, yeah, but you know what? Let's be honest. Whatever they need to do to stay face, especially if they could be in a position where WWE comes a knocking and they can get some of that sweet Saudi Arabia money, right? I get it. I think any one of us would play the same fucking card, right? Look, I watched that match again, and I agree. Now, let me make sure I'm really setting the record straight here, because I didn't go back. I didn't listen to what I had said on the post show. Okay. So hopefully what I'm getting ready to say matches up to what I did say on the post show, which is the first half of Taker versus Goldberg was good. It was good. It was clicking very well. I don't think anybody would dispute that. The first half, they clicked well. And when you just play back the three spears and all of that shit, you're just kind of led to the impression that, especially when you play the match back in your mind, you're kind of led to the impression that, okay, well, if the shit didn't go down the way that it did, maybe this would have stretched out a little bit longer, and rightfully so, right? But the first half of that match, it was on point. Now, I can only imagine how much of a factor the heat was. And I'm not making excuses for these guys. You know, I'm not in the excuse business. I'm not. But what I do have, I might not have the athletic resume as a lot of these guys do, right? At least not these days, you know, maybe years prior. But I do know what it's like from previous jobs to work out in weird, shit poor, inclement weather. I do have that experience, okay? I mean, I'm sure many of you guys could probably pull up, it doesn't matter the job, whether you're pushing carts or, you know, whatever. Okay, so Saudi Arabia, it's damn near 100 degrees at frickin' midnight by the time these two guys come out there. Hot, big ass, bright lights shining down on them. Anybody that's been to a WWE event will tell you, man, them lights, man, it get warm real quick depending on the time of the year. If it's freaking spring, summer, it's hot as fuck. You definitely gonna be sweating a bit, right? So, factoring all of that in, I would like to believe that for Undertaker, he's been at it for what, almost 30 years? I would like to believe that he has dealt with that type of weather before. He's been okay, right? Bill Goldberg, on the other hand. See, here's the thing. When you get right down to the heart of the matter, this much I do remember from what I said on the Super Showdown post-show, which is, it doesn't matter how many times these guys, you know, may have rehearsed. I'm more interested in knowing how much time did they put into training, you know, getting their spots down, you know, how many times did they hook up and plan everything out, right? But then even at that, you can plan everything out. Okay, I'm going to hit you with this, boom, 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 and we're going to be out. You could do everything right down to the T. But once you get in that ring, I mean, whether or not you're going to be able to fall through on that blueprint, that remains to be seen, right? This is where, okay, well, here's what happens when you're not wrestling all year round. You're not even wrestling a part-time schedule. You're just basically doing one match. In the case of Goldberg, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, this was Goldberg's first match in almost 2 years. Do I understand that right? In almost 2 years? And you expect him to, off the gate? Now, look, I know I was very harsh on Bill Goldberg, and I'm still going to stand behind everything that I had said about Bill Goldberg. I mean, hell, at least I was much kinder with my criticism than Matt Riddle was to Goldberg, right? I'm very well aware of the stuff he's been saying about Goldberg on social media, but I mean, look, I will be among the first diehard Bill Goldberg fans to tell you, yeah, you can forget about Bill Goldberg going in there and doing a fucking arm bar or a freaking Boston Crab, or, you know, he's not a technical wrestler. He never was a fucking technical wrestler. You can pretty much forget about that. He ain't no chain wrestler. You can forget about that. All right? Bill Goldberg is a strike type of guy. That is how he is. From the minute that you first saw him in WCW, you're like, who the fuck is this dude? Oh my God, what's going on with this music? Damn, this seems like some heavy, intense shit, what I'm getting ready to watch. And I mean, the way he was booked back then, it was so smart because it basically was covering up his flaws as far as in the ring goes. This was a man that honestly should have stayed down at the WCW power plant much, much, much longer. But because of his look, his size, money, I mean, you just go do the time warp. You go back then and it's, oh man, there's a lot of good money to be made off of this guy. Yeah, we would probably do really fucking good just leaving him down there and letting him learn the craft, pick it up even more. But shit, man, we're kind of bleeding. We need some stars. We need like something now. We've got to do something. Like, okay, let's do it. Let's just see what happens. And what they were able to do with Bill Goldberg was fucking magical. It was magical. I haven't seen anything like it. God, if I were to just kind of play back in my head, I haven't seen anything like it. Not quite like since Brock Lesnar. If I would really be honest, with the only difference is Brock Lesnar knows how to wrestle, right? But just as far as the rise, the sudden rise of one, just okay, here you are, you're in the developmental, and then you just have this ascension right to the very top, right? The cream of the crop, so to speak, right? So for me, Bill Goldberg, far back as I can remember, as a kid watching this dude come out, I mean, he didn't do none of that chain wrestling bullshit. He pretty much just came out there, strikes. That's all he was about, strikes. Punches, kicks, spears, jackhammer. What you saw was what you got, okay? So, for me, I knew what to expect of Bill Goldberg going into this match. And I gotta tell you, the first several minutes of his match with Taker, they did okay. But then those botches, I can't ignore those botches. The botches that went down from both of those guys. I don't know, until we hear from Bill Goldberg, until we hear from The Undertaker, I don't know if it was the heat or what, but their chemistry with each other after those first several minutes, it just started to flatline. I mean, the longer the match went, and anybody will tell you this, the longer a freaking match goes, sadly, for the case of Bill Goldberg, the longer it goes, the more exposed he is in possibly doing something fucked up. That's just how it is. I've watched enough Bill Goldberg matches to be able to tell you that. But I've also watched enough Bill Goldberg matches to tell you that when he had his full-time run in the WWE and he was in all different types of matches, the guy was decent. It was a decent run. I would have to say, and this would be my challenge to any longtime wrestling fan, especially those that remember the Monday Night War. Maybe y'all can help enlighten everybody else, newer fans particularly. But when you compare his WCW run, yeah, the streak, right, you can definitely, but if you really want to just kind of take a step back and look at how his run was in WWE, from a wrestling standpoint, not by much, mind you, not by much, but from a wrestling standpoint, it seemed that we got more, better at that, out of Bill Goldberg during that first run in WWE compared to what he was doing in WCW. And I mean, look, man, if you really want a hearty fucking laugh, go on the WWE Network or hop on Daily Motion or YouTube sometime and look up the Bill Goldberg match when he was taking on Sir William Regal. I mean, William Regal, you want to talk about exposure. William Regal fucking did rosies all around Goldberg's head. Made him look like a goddamn buffoon. Made him look like he had no fucking business being out there. I mean, you couldn't help but feel fucking embarrassed for Bill Goldberg. I've probably watched that match in its entirety only 3 times because it's fucking cringeworthy. That's how bad it is, right? And y'all know how much of a cool-ass technician William Regal is. But, yeah, that shit was just... But I still feel the way that I do about this match from Super Showdown. I'm not making any excuses for these guys. I know a lot of people were going with the whole age thing. I'm not going to go with the whole age thing because we all that really love our wrestling and we've grown up on it for decades, we can think of a handful of wrestlers collectively who at age, take your pick, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, were going out there and they were having phenomenal matches. Hell, just to put one out there, I can remember the man they call Sting down in TNA was having some really great matches. Really great fucking matches during his time down there, right? So, I mean, that's just one example, but I'm sure collectively we all could think of many other examples. But look, Undertaker, physically, he looks fucking great. He looks great. It was great seeing him do the old school move, all that shit. Loved all that. I ate all that up. But see, here's the thing. When you're doing the fucking tombstone pile driver and all that other shit, your strength is in your legs, right? You got to have the strength in your legs. And, you know, if you don't really have that strength in your legs, then shit can and will happen as far as accidents go, right? So you can lose all the amount of weight that you want to lose, or you can work as much as you want to work out on your upper body, but, you know, if you're not really taking care of that lower half, and maybe you are taking care of that lower half, but guess what? Father Time is undefeated. Father Time eventually is going to catch up with everybody, all right? Bill Goldberg, you know, look, I respect Undertaker and Bill Goldberg because at the end of the day, what they tried to do was they tried to give a special moment for the fans. And sadly, when it's all said and done, they laid an egg, right? I can definitely respect Bill Goldberg because anybody that's watched the 24/7 special, Goldberg was like, man, you know, my wife, my kid, they don't know nothing about my wrestling. And you remember the 24/7 special that they did on him. He talked about how they were never exposed to it and everything. And he kind of had to tell them how basically, yeah, in another life, I was a pro wrestler. You know, I was pretty big. I was pretty popular, blah, blah, blah. So for him to be that guy again for his family, in particular for his son, and Lord knows we know how much his son means to him, and you know, and he's trying to, you know, he's trying to lay upon his son some really nice, cool family values is the right words. I was trying to search for the right words there, but he's trying to, I get that. I respect those core values that he's trying to bestow on his kid. A lot of respect for that. Much like with Ultimate Warrior and how he had a new lease on life once his kids came into the picture. Talk a little bit more about him later on because his wife has been making the headlines. So I respect what Bill Goldberg tried to go out there and do. If you ask me, do I still feel the same way about Bill Goldberg, him never wrestling another match again? Oh man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I know that was pretty sharp what I said last time. I think if Bill Goldberg is going to wrestle again, it depends on the promotion, and you gotta book it fucking smart. You gotta fucking book it smart. If it turns out weather was a factor ultimately in what had went down in that match, so be it. Then okay, you counter that. You make sure that in that type of weather, that never happens again. By any means necessary, you dodge that like a motherfucker, right? Okay, but you dodged that. Is that really gonna just, okay, see, that was the problem. And I don't really know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't think anybody has the answer to that. Does WWE owe it to themselves to walk down memory lane one more time and do that match again? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. I'm sure WWE took a look at that social media feedback for that match and, you know, and are probably, yeah. If Vince McMahon, from what people have said about him over the years, I would like to imagine he looked at that match and never again, right? Maybe. Or, fuck it, we got our money. That's all that matters. Fuck it, we got our money. But see, here's the thing. Everybody that still wants to see Sting take on The Undertaker. Shit like what we saw at Super Showdown now kind of put you in a position where you go, well, you know what? Maybe it's good that we didn't see Sting and Undertaker at the ages that they are now go at it. Right? Because, I don't know, looking at that Goldberg thing, I don't quite know. Right? Sting still gets asked about that. I mean, my God, man. Fucking, I told you guys, at AwesomeCon, fucking Q&A, fucking autograph signing, that shit was like one of the most talked about things. Him taking on fucking Taker. Sting still kind of giddy like a kid. Oh, if there's one person I can face. Oh, I'd like to face the Undertaker. Yeah, I would love to do it. I'm just not seeing that. And here's the sad part. I know both of those guys would do their very best in putting on such a fantastic show for the fans. I know they would. I know they would put their heart and soul into it. But I just don't know if it could live up to what we fans have been dreaming about for many years. I just don't know if it can live up to that hype. I'm just not confident in that. I'm just not. Especially with regards to Sting, because when Sting was in Impact Wrestling, I mean, sure, it might have been tape TV, but he was wrestling. And the times that Impact Wrestling did a couple of house shows, they wrestled in a fucking baseball stadium or whatever. Yeah, they had all that shit going on, and Sting was pretty much there. For what Sting was able to do when he came into the WWE, I thought his dance partner in Triple H, I thought that was good. I mean, if you ask me honestly, the Undertakers, the Stings, they need to, instead of working with each other, I think it makes more sense that you have an Undertaker wrestle a Kevin Owens, or you have an Undertaker wrestle a Finn Balor, right? I mean, there's something that's really exciting, that's refreshing, and both of these guys, I mean, come on, when's the last time you heard of Finn Balor fucking injuring somebody or some stupid shit like that, right? Or hell, Undertaker, Andrade Cien Almas, okay? Undertaker, Baron Corbin. Contrary to how some people may feel about Baron Corbin, the man's fucking coming around. I'm gonna give him his fucking just due, all right? You look at a guy like, I got my phone on for very good reason. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got some food coming. Wait a minute. Hang on a second, guys. This has to do with food, because I have not had dinner yet. Let me see here. No. Bring something yummy. Hang on here. Bring something yummy, please. I'm not off the air yet. Okay. I got my phone on because the missus does not have her house key. So at some point I may have to run downstairs. If I have to run downstairs, I'm just going to play a fucking music video for you guys to watch. But no, you know what I'm saying? So you got the Undertaker, Finn Balor, you know, that's a good balance, right? And plus, I've always been a sucker for paying it forward. I've always been a sucker for that. In the case of Sting, kind of like the same type of deal to a degree. I got to tell you, before he got injured by Seth Rollins, I mean, I know some people, they go back to that match he had with Triple H and, oh man, Sting should have won that. What the fuck? I'm kind of right there with you, but you know what? Just the fact that he finally
came to the WWE. And his very first match on the grandest stage of them all was WrestleMania. Right? Man, that's stuff that that's what you as a wrestling fan will be remembering for years and years and years to come, right? Man, never thought I'd see the day, but man, he finally came to the WWE. And his match with Seth Rollins was fucking awesome. I think it's kind of sad too, because so many people get more caught up in the Seth Rollins, he injured Sting. And I remember being on the show, and I remember kind of saying, man, you know, it was a little bit reckless, that spot that they did. But you know what? You know, Sting felt comfortable, you know, doing it. And, you know, it's kind of amazing because I'll say certain things at the time. And then I find as I get a little bit older, the way I thought about something initially, another gate opens up. And it's like, well, that's one angle, but did you also consider this? So I always try to leave myself as open as humanly possible. And, you know, I know Seth Rollins, it wasn't his intent to injure fucking Sting. I know it wasn't. Not to get sidetracked, because I really am not trying to get sidetracked. But that match that he had with Seth Rollins, I enjoyed that. That was a really good match, and you kind of couldn't help but wonder what other matches might have been on the horizon that Sting would probably, yeah, I think that's good. Let's go that route. You know, you just can't help but wonder, you know, could we at some point seen a Sting Daniel Bryan, or for old time's sake, a Sting AJ Styles, you know, while you still had access to Jericho before he went off to New Japan and everything, could you have done a Jericho and Sting? That would have been phenomenal, right? It's kind of one of those what ifs, you know. But Undertaker, Goldberg, I got a lot of respect for both men. If they are going to continue to wrestle, and I know Undertaker definitely is. He's already let it be known. He's got a chip on his shoulders. He's trying to prove he can still do it. I mean, that's just him. As far as I'm concerned, he's proven everything that he's need to prove. He don't need to prove anything else, right? He can just let its legacy speak for itself. But I still feel that if both of these men are going to continue to go out there and they're going to continue to wrestle, then you know what? The way I would counter this is be part of the roster. Be part of the roster. At least pull a Chris Jericho. At least go in there and do part-time. But work the house shows. And I've been saying it for years. The ticket gates for WWE house shows is not what it used to be. I mean, most of their money, if you look at the quarterly reports, you know, they're really making a profit off of the WWE Network, the Saudi deal, you know, everything digital. That's where most of their money is coming from what I've been keeping track the past couple of years. Everything digital, that's where their money is coming from. The Saudi deal, that's where their money is coming from. Not so much merchandise, not so much at the gates. If anything, the gate prices have been going down lower and lower and lower. I've always said for years, if you want to have things be exciting at your house shows, give the fans a unique fucking experience. Just how you got the NBA. It's fantastic. They don't say that anymore. But back in the 90s, they used to say that, right? It's fantastic. Well, pull a cool move at the WWE house shows where you never know who's going to be showing up at these house shows. You could have Undertaker. Oh my God, Undertaker's in the house and he's going to be wrestling, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have to be OGs. But you get the point that I'm saying, right? You know, at least this way, these guys that eventually, like, hell, you could even do part-time with like 3 months leading up to said wrestler taking on insert name of other wrestler here, okay? Have that group of wrestlers 3 months out leading into the show. Have them wrestle at house shows. Let them do dark matches, all that other shit. That'll get people talking, you know, and also to the point of, hey, do you think maybe we're going to get them? Do you think we're going to get a match with them? And, oh man, did you hear? Out in Philly, oh, so-and-so took on blah, 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 blah. Oh man, that was great. Oh, that's fucking awesome, right? At least give these guys tune-up matches leading up to whenever they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do at these pay-per-views. And then that way, they could at least shake off half of the ring rust that they have, right? But to each its own. I mean, they're probably going to do what they're going to do, but, you know, whatever, man. It is what it is. Let's see. Before I get a bit further into the show, I want to take this time out and I want to recognize some of our Patreon members. Shout out to Cody. Cody said, Lee, I'm checking out the show via YouTube. That's the only place you're going to be checking it out tonight. I'm trying to keep things very simplistic tonight. But I want to give a shout out to our Patreon members, because without our Patreon members, content like what you're checking out right now would not be free. We charge you a little something, but patreon.com/RCWR show. You can check out bonus audio, video content you're not going to be able to find anywhere else, and get access to some awesome shows like our 30 with Lee series and Wrestling with the Topics. Both of those hosted by me and the missus. I know it was been kind of slow this week. I did say I was going to be doing a little something, but between the dentist appointment and then the fucking playoffs and all that shit, it's been really hard for me. And then work has been doubling it up on me. But you know what? I take the bitter with the sweet because I got another raise from work, so I'm on cloud 9 right now, but I've been a bit all over the place. So you Patreon members, tomorrow is actually finally I get to actually sit down and do some Patreon content. So I will pump out a couple of things, tie you guys over for the weekend, you know, a little something since it's Father's Day weekend and all that. All right, so shout out to Patreon members: Michael Wolf, Justin Rabach, Sean Kenter, John Davis, my good buddy Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup, and Joe Raymond Jr. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Go sign up. $5 a month. And you get access to some really awesome, good content. You can't beat that. Oh my God, why do you keep texting me? Yes, pick up something. Yeah, all right, hang on, guys. Yes, please pick up something. Period. Okay, you're being stupid here. Comma. You are stupid. I don't want to text. I really don't want to text right now. Sorry, guys. This is food, man. I haven't eaten dinner yet, man. I'm fucking hungry. Hang on here. Yes, please pick up something. Surprise me. Period. I'm still doing the show live. Period. For some reason, this does not want to translate. Oh, wait a minute. It's having a brain fart. I don't get this, man. Technology sometimes. Hang on a second. Yeah, when it comes to food, I'm busy here. Surprise me. Doing show. Gotta run. There we go. Just text me when you need to come inside. That's what she said. Anyway, let's keep on rolling with the show here. All right, so, hey man, somebody that is very familiar with us, and for you fans as well of the show, you guys remember Brodus Clay, aka Tyrus? You know, we had him on the show. We were fortunate enough to be among the first, I think the first 3 shows that was able to sit down with him, get his thoughts on his WWE release and all that. And, you know, pretty much been keeping tabs. You know, we actually follow each other on Twitter and everything. And, you know, once in a blue moon, I'll, you know, say, hey, how you doing, man? Or some shit like that. And, of course, I had the infamous cameo in his Kayfabe You Shoot DVD. That had a lot of people. Oh man, this was funny. I had some people. Oh man, Brodus Clay, man, he carried your ass, man. Man. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I finally, I had already planned on getting the DVD. So I finally see the DVD, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And so I actually hit him up. I said, dude, what the fuck? And he told me, he said, nah, baby boy. He was like, we cool. He's like, you ain't do nothing wrong. I was just ribbing you a little bit. We're cool, man. You know, I was just playing it up for the camera. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool. I wish I was here right now and I was talking about him in a positive light, but he is sadly making headlines right now. I mean, look, we got to cover it because that's our motto. Covering the latest in wrestling, entertainment, and beyond. I don't like reporting this, though, but I'll give my 2 cents about this from a distance. So, reportedly, he's been removed from his Fox Nation show, Un-PC, due to a sexual harassment complaint filed by co-host Bret McHenry. Now, let's quote the Daily Beast here because they are among the originals, reporting that McHenry was sent numerous unsolicited text messages by Tyrus, whose real name is George Murdoch, allegedly sent such texts to McHenry which contained lewd and sexual statements. Tyrus originally co-hosted Un-PC with Bret McHenry before being moved to his own show called Nuff Said, after a personal dispute had occurred between he and McHenry in April. Tyrus was questioned by The Hollywood Reporter's Jeremy Barr via Twitter about the incident, to which Tyrus responded, "No comment and don't message me again." According to 2 sources who previously were employed by Fox News, Tyrus had a history of making jokes and comments in politically incorrect nature, adding that his sense of humor is considered to be wild. It was said by others with knowledge of Tyrus's professional environment that he had a long history of acting outwardly angry towards crew members. And as it stands right now, he has not made any official comments/statement about this whole incident. Co-host and complaintee McHenry has yet to comment either. Fox News did issue a statement saying, and I quote, "While we are not at liberty to discuss the details of any employee matter, we follow strict protocols when matters such as these are brought to our attention, and we make no exceptions." Yeah, so that's where we are right now with regards to that. Look, I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that. And this is what I would say, because I did see how the very next day there was a couple, like I said, me and him were following each other on Twitter. You know, I messaged him once in the blue moon. I have not messaged him privately about this. I'm not going to. And I'm going to explain to you the reason why. Yes, I could reach out to him and I could say, hey man, you know, if you want to come on the show and you want to get your thoughts out there. I mean, I am connected to many wrestling media outlets. So, and he knows he would be in good hands with me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. First of all, I would like to believe that in 2019, anybody that has been accused in any type of way, but accused of something like this, they're going to jump out there as soon as humanly possible, and they're going to put out some type of a statement saying, hey, look, I'm innocent, and if push comes to shove, if I need to have my day in court where I need to prove my innocence, then so be it. Because what's happening right here, this is nothing but defamation, this is slander, and I'm going to show you guys that what this person is claiming, this was actually a mutual thing. I can show you text messages, I can show you phone records, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So, and I'm not saying that in such fashion where I'm defending him either. I'm just saying in 2019, man, woman, doesn't matter. If you're accused of something, you're going to jump out there and no, that's not true. Of course, you're going to get upset because it's not true. So you're going to defend yourself to the very end till you're blue in the face, until you're able to prove your innocence. So I would like to believe that with all of the media connections that Tyrus has successfully been able to make for himself over the years, if he feels that he needs to get something off of his chest or get just a statement out there, then he already has his own respected connections and he can easily jump out there. And I can only imagine the amount of wrestling podcasts that have probably already jumped out there at him and been like, oh man, want to come on the show? And it's like now all of a sudden people want to have him on the show, right? Wrestling shows, they want to have him on their show, but they pretty much just want to talk about that's too one-dimensional for me. It comes off tasteless. It comes off cheap. You know, I don't want to do that. I would rather have Tyrus on the show. You know, hey man, it's been a couple of years. How you been? You know, hey, so you're in this new movie. Talk to us about that. I don't want to be bringing him on the show just to talk about some shit like this. You fucking kidding me? That looks so cheap on so many levels. I'm not interested in that. I'm really not. And my message to anybody that read about this news, heard about this news, look, you can see the tweets that he was putting out there, and people were just so quick to keep throwing this in his face. Let the cards lay out the way that they're going to lay out. It's 2019, and I tell you what, looking at the shit that had went down with our boy Chris Hardwick from Talking Dead, that was some crazy shit. Crazy shit that had went down. And even after pretty much he was able to clear himself and other people were coming to his defense and basically clearing him as well, motherfucker has emails and text messages from this girl begging to get back with him and all this other shit, right? After it looked as though, okay, no, he's in the clear, he's innocent, you still have motherfuckers that, fuck Chris Hardwick. Ugh. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, that was explained already. X, Y, Z. Oh, fuck Chris Hardwick. He did it. You know, so, you know, that's the sad thing. Once something like that gets put out there, you know, it's really, really hard to fucking clean your fucking image. And then it doesn't also help that you're connected to Fox News, which has so many people's feathers ruffled as it is, right? But people, I always try to tell you on this show, take a step back, just wait until more information comes out. And you know what, if push comes to shove, and this is a case where it's going to need to go to court, you know, I would like to believe if she's jumping out there like that, she's got the cell phone records, right? Any email exchanges, the whole 9 yards, right? I would like to believe, right? So let's just all continue to sit this one out and see where it all goes. And then, you know what, the more information that becomes available to the public as far as, okay, evidence, you know, then pretty much it's kind of, all right, well, then maybe we can have a discussion and try to make sense out of what we have available at that time. But this being still fresh in its early stages, yeah, I'm sorry. Forgive me if I have a little bit of common sense and I just go, hey, there's a judicial process system. Yeah, I'm not going to be labeling somebody a piece of shit and the whole 9 yards without, show me the evidence. What do you have? Show me. You know, it'd be no different than, I never forget, I told this story to a buddy of mine, coworker too, just recently, like 2 weeks ago. Somehow we had got on the subject of one of his partners that helps him out in our database department, and the person had called out twice, sick, back to back. So the first day, man, sick. Oh, it's really terrible. And then the next day, so you good? You can come in? Well, I'm better than yesterday, but I'm not quite out the woods just yet. I need to take another day off. Right? And I said to him, nah, man, like, that to me just sounds like a crock of bullshit. Like, they just wanted to take 2 fucking days off from work. You know, I remember how when I was a supervisor, in security years and years and years ago, I told him the story. I said, I was the type of motherfucker, I needed evidence. And so I told him, I said, what you should have said was, well, look, you're missing 2 days back to back. You're technically doing no call, no show, because by the time you call out, you're doing it at the last fucking minute. So technically it's like no call, no show. When you come back for your next shift, you need to have a doctor's note. If you don't have a doctor's note, sorry, don't come back. Right? So show me the evidence. That's my whole deal. Like, show me the evidence, especially like now in 2019. It's really got to be, show me the evidence. Like, I'm noticing more and more and more our society is reactionary. It's always acting on impulse. It's always reactionary rather than, well, let's take a step back and let's really see where this is going to be going. Dana Warrior is making headlines, sadly. And I said sadly because honestly what I liked of what she put out there was positive, but it's being taken in a negative light. I'll explain. So Dana Warrior put out a tweet. I've always had a soft spot for Dana Warrior. I have. I can't help but wonder if a day will ever come where she will remarry. Or just start dating again. I know it took a minute for Vicky Guerrero, but, it's like, man, she was married to the Ultimate Warrior. Like, can somebody even come close to following up on that or be better than that? Like, it's a tough act to follow, It's kind of like when Malcolm X's wife, okay, he's gone. So now what? And she never remarried. How can Coretta Scott King, remarry? It's like, look at who she was married to. Now, I'm not saying she was celibate pretty much from that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as far as getting married and all, right? But she put out, Dana Warrior, that is, she put out a tweet, had her warrior mask, paint on, all that cool stuff, said, and I quote, I stand in solidarity with the LGBTQ community and honor you with pride this month. I believe in equality, education, awareness, and this simple fact, love wins always. Hashtag Pride 2019, hashtag Pride Month, hashtag LGBTQ. God, so many fucking initials, man. LGBTQ, and sometimes Y. Nothing wrong with that. And I mean, you read that and then you think about all of the Hall of Fame ceremony speeches, interviews that she's given, and you can just picture that nice, soft, little, sweet, bubbly little personality just putting that out there. Because sometimes she kind of sounds, and this is no diss to her, but sometimes when she's talking, she sounds like a princess. There's like a nice, sweet innocence to her, kind of kid-like to her when she's talking, and you really take what she's saying at face value and straight to the heart. I love that about her. So that should, right? That shouldn't ruffle anybody's feathers in any type of way, right? Well, it did. Because you had motherfuckers quick to fucking grab pitchforks and all that other shit. Oh, yeah. This coming from the woman who's the widow of the Ultimate Warrior. We all know how Ultimate Warrior, how he hated the gays, and he said this, and he said that, and, I'm not going to repeat all of that shit. I mean, who the fuck are we as a society to even put ourselves on such a high pedestal that we think we're better than everybody else? You're trying to tell me that amongst us in this world, there are people that are fucking flawless. There are people that have not said something remotely fucking stupid or offensive that they've gone, shit, why did I do that? Oh my God, why did I say that about that person? Why did I treat that person that way? Oh man, that was so unprofessional on so many levels. Or, you get what I'm saying? So we're going to act all high and mighty, like we've never done anything wrong in our entire lives. That is the biggest crock of bullshit, if that's the case. It's very easy for people behind a keyboard to even come at Dana Warrior and say all the shit that she's saying, you know, and these are people, when it's all said and done, these are people that, if they were lucky, maybe had an opportunity to do a meet and greet with the Ultimate Warrior. But you know what? That meet and greet ain't enough to get a good sense of that person's personality. You can't say, oh yeah, you know, I got to know insert name here. No. Who better to know about the man behind the character of the Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig? Who better to know about that individual than the woman that spent years with this man, married him, gave him not one, but 2 kids. Not one, but 2 kids. Now, you know what? Some people, look, you gotta forgive me, especially you ladies out there, all right? I know we got female listeners. Y'all gotta forgive me. Let me keep it real for 100. I would like to believe that, okay, yeah, this fool, he kind of has his issues, but, you know, I love him. You know, I care about him. Yeah. All right. Sex. Pregnant. All right, first kid. Now, I would like to believe after that first kid is delivered, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, some time has passed, and God, what the fuck did I see in this person? Oh my God, I need to get away from this person. I can't believe I have a kid with this person. Shit. Well, hopefully it won't be an ugly custody battle. Hopefully we can have shared custody, and yeah, but I don't want to be with this person anymore. I think it's kind of done its course. I think I've cycled out. Yeah, time to move on, right? You think of the breakups to make up, that's all we do. First you love me, then you hate me, right? So you go through all that shit, right? So you have one kid. All right, whatever. But I tell you what, man, for a lady to be willing to welcome your second child into the world, oh, you're doing shit right. You're doing shit right. Whatever flaws is going on with you, whatever, you are doing something right. Okay? So she gave him not one but 2 kids. And newsflash, this man really started to turn his life around once his kids came into the picture. I mean, he really was trying to do his very best to make a 180. So wait a minute, man. So we're gonna hold shit like that happened before he had his, I don't know if you want to call it a Jesus moment. Sometimes you can have your Jesus moment looking at your kids, right? You know, and you hear that all the time, which is, man, I used to act like blah, 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 blah. But then my kid came into this world and it just shook my whole foundation. It changed my whole outlook on life, how I treat people, blah, blah, blah. For some people, you don't even need a kid to do that. Sometimes you could just be in a position of self-reflection. And you go, kind of, all right, yeah, I need to change, right? You first got to want change from within. You know what I'm saying? I've always believed that. And let me tell you something. If anybody is a textbook for wanting change from within, I'm definitely that person. I mean, I used to treat people like total fucking garbage. I gotta be candid with you. I treated people like fucking garbage. I would lie to people. I would I would cheat on people. I mean, what haven't I done? You know, I did so much stupid shit. And I had to hit rock bottom where I had no friends. I had no family. I had nobody. I had to hit rock bottom in order to, okay, look how life has treated you up until this point. Now, how's it doing for you so far? You about ready to kind of ditch that and try something new? Yeah? Okay, let's... And it's been a slow process for me. Each new day, I'm learning something more new and new about myself. You know, if there's one little that I still can't quite shake off, I'm still a bit antisocial. You know, that's nothing to do with me. That's a lot to do with my mom and, you know, how she raised me and, you know, oh, family's getting together. And it's kind of like, all right, she doesn't want me going over there because she's got issues with, you know, insert names here. Doesn't want to fuck with those relatives. Okay, so I'm being bottled up in the house and I'm going to go play with my friends. No, you can't go out. You know, you got to stay in. Like, why? Because you got to stay in. Right? So I still can't quite shake that off. I mean, I'm years and years better than where I was, you know, I would say 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I am still a hard ass, though, as far as who I let into my life. You know, because I don't know. I can't quite tell you what's going on with me there, but you know, I'm working on it. I'm trying to be more of a people person. But I still feel that friction sometimes, you know. But I tell you what, if you have my friendship, I'm with you for life. You know, I'm just one of those type of people. And sometimes my loyalty gets me into more trouble than I can fucking handle. But God, we all make mistakes. That's the whole point I'm making, man. We all fucking make mistakes. And, you know, who are we to fucking kick back and be judging other fucking people when we haven't even spent a fucking day in that person's shoes? I mean, seriously. I mean, I think when it's all said and done, people just need to, and I get it. I know the type of society that we're in. We've got people that, because the day and age that we're in, information is at your fingertips. You think that because, oh, this person's mom died. Oh, this person had a kid. You think that because you are able to obtain this information at the touch of your fingertips on your phone, on your tablet, whatever the device, right? That, oh man, I'm connected. You know, I know. And no, you don't fucking know. You don't know. What you know is the subject. That's what you know. What you don't know is the surface underneath the subject. That's what you don't know. You want to take a guess. You know, you want to assume that you know what's going on, but you really don't. And that's why, I'm not sucking my own dick or anything like that, but that's why a lot of people fuck with me when I do this show, is because it's like, when I tell you about something and I can connect to it to help you broaden out your horizons more, I can speak on it from personal experience. You know, it's real easy to just, oh, you know, Dana Warrior, blah, 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 blah. LGBTQ, blah, blah, blah. Ultimate Warrior. Right? It'd be easy to ride the fucking gravy train and bash Ultimate Warrior. That would be easy to do. Score brownie points, get some high fives, all that fucking shit. I'm in with the in crowd. Look at me. I'm shitting on Warrior. Because it's the cool thing to do. Right? I bet you a majority of these people that were ripping into Dana Warrior's late husband never seen a piece of pussy in their fucking life. All right. Never had a girlfriend. All they know is WWE. All they know is the shit that they see on the fucking internet. Well, I saw it on the internet. I read about it. It must be real. It must be. And then when you've worked yourself up for so many years, that when you finally get, all due respect, you've been misinformed. That's actually not true. The real story is you've worked yourself up so much over these years. I'll give you something lighthearted. Something very lighthearted. You know how I like to round off numbers. Y'all will get a fucking kick out of this one. So, last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm talking with Tammy. And, you know, she already had her birthday and, you know, so she's 40 now. And I told her, I said, well, don't feel too bad. At least you're still attached to a youngin' for a couple of more months. And she's like, what are you talking about? It's like, me, I'm the youngin'. He's like, no, I get that part, but what do you mean? It's like, well, you know, I'm going to be 40 later this year. No, you're not. I'm like, huh? The hell you I don't know when my birthday is. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to be 40 this year. No, you're not going to be 40 this year. I'm like, how you figure? I'm like, okay, wait. Tell me when you were born again. I'm like, okay, I was born. Yeah, now do the math. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 40 this year. It's like, no, honey, you're 38, going on 39. And I said, holy shit. Like, are you serious? She was like, yeah, do the math. So I sat down, I did the math. And I said, holy shit. I said, so basically for almost the past 6 months, I've made myself 2 years older than what I felt relieved. I was jumping up and down, you know, but I felt kind of sorry for her because, you know, I could tell it was like, it's like, sorry, huh? It's like, but hey, you made me feel young in a matter of seconds. I mean, that's awesome, right? But nah, man, like in all seriousness, man, before we start pointing fingers at everybody, you know, always remember that one finger that we're pointing at other people, always remember that we've got four fingers pointing right back at us. So before we take it upon ourselves as society to be all high and mighty and judging other people on their past mistakes, we better make sure that we're taking a damn good strong look at ourselves in the mirror and looking at how we've been living our lives up to that point where we're getting ready to offer whatever. I don't know if you want to call that shit criticism, lambasting, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, we need to do that before we jump out there. And make sure your shit is bulletproof. If you're going to be jumping out there like that to an individual, make sure your shit is bulletproof, right? And at least if you're going to say that shit, have the fucking balls to make sure that when you're saying this on social media, your avatar is your fucking picture of yourself. I'm proud to say, all throughout social media, my face right there. Not no fucking cartoon, not a fucking picture of Spider-Man or fucking Thanos or a fucking dog or a fucking piece of fruit or some blank fucking, no, what you see is my fucking face. I got no problem showing my face. I got no problem saying whatever I feel like saying with the confidence knowing that with the confidence of knowing that what I say on social media, I would definitely say it in public. See, that's the thing. You got some people, Gino, what's up, Gino? You got some people that will say XYZ on social media because it's their outlet. They can be who they truly want to be. Perfect example. Good segue. Here in the nation's capital, there was this woman that had a book deal, right? And the book deal that she had going on, she got, when it's all said and done, she got screwed out of $13 million. Right? Now, let me set this up properly. So she's on our transit system out here known as WMATA. She's on the train, and who knows what the fuck she's doing? I don't know. Playing with her tits, smelling her bush. I don't know. I don't care. But my point is, she sees across the way, there's a female WMATA employee that is eating her breakfast. And so she's just looking at this WMATA employee like Michelle Pfeiffer and Scarface at that restaurant scene. You fucking, you fucking people, you fucking people. So what does she do? Do you think A, she politely goes over to the employee and says, hey, that smells and looks really good, but do you really think you should be eating that on the train? After all, no eating or drinking is allowed on the bus and trains. Just saying. Or B, if the smell and the look of the food is bothering her like that, do you think she gets up and goes sit elsewhere, or maybe goes to another car? Or C, do you think she quietly pulls out her fucking phone, takes pictures of the WMATA employee eating the food, and then run like a asshole on social media blasting that WMATA employee about it? If you chose option C, you are correct. That's exactly what she did. Okay? Now, where I don't agree with the way the media had covered this and the way social media jumped on it, it was a 1-2 punch. Media reporting it, and then social media, and it just manifests into this whole racial thing. And it's, wait a minute, when did it become about race? I'm sorry, but I never once thought race when I looked at this WMATA employee. I just said, WMATA employee. I couldn't even remember her face. I mean, I knew she was black, but again, race didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was, damn, honey, that's a nice ass platter. Where can I get some? I mean, she had the scrambled eggs, she had the bacon. Honey had a nice fat ass platter. My big ass was looking at that going, shit. And all you can do is take a picture and share the shit on social media and lambaste her like that. And so all of a sudden, you had the social justice warriors that, and this is how they work sometimes. There's good social justice warriors, and then there are what I call the corrupt social justice warriors. There are the corrupt social justice warriors that want to take, spin to fit their narrative, right? So what they ended up doing was, said author, she's white, oh, you're picking on this black woman because she's black. If she was white, this wouldn't even be. So, like, it was all about race all of a sudden, when what it really should have been about was, as petty as it is, she makes a good point, which is, yeah, you're not supposed to be eating or drinking on the trains. What the fuck, right? So eventually, her publisher, they're telling her, it's okay, this will die down, don't worry about it. Hey, the book, man, we're looking forward to the book. Can't wait. But the pressure, it becomes so much higher, that the publisher just basically goes, yeah, we're just going to go on ahead and we're not going to release this book. And furthermore, we no longer need your services. We think that everything that's been going on with you and this whole ordeal with the WMATA employee, we don't need that controversy. We don't need that press. We're not into that business. We don't need that. So she countersues. And see, here's the other thing. Self-accountability. I always tell you on this show, self-accountability. If you're going to point fingers, and be sure that as far as the self-accountability goes, you can definitely take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror, and you can fucking put yourself out there and be like, hey, I ain't perfect either, right? So, what have we learned? I'm pulling the Dr. Steve Brule here. Check it out. What do we learn? We learned WMATA employees eat real good, right? But no, seriously, so what do we learn here? We learned that this could have been avoided had this woman taken self-accountability and just walked over to the employee and said, hey, that food looks good. Where'd you get it? And you know you're not supposed to be eating and, you know, just saying, right? That's called taking the initiative and, hey, you know, won't you be a leader? You know, a lot of people are going to be seeing this and, you know, I don't know about you. I don't know about you all, but shit, I like to get on the train, and last thing I want to do is when I get on the train, I got fucking McDonald's wrappings and shit all on the chair and it's stuck in between, and then, you know, whoa, how the fuck did a roach get on the goddamn train? Well, gee, let me think. Well, that's what happens when you have a bunch of food wrappings and all that other shit that's on the train. That's why sometimes we can have nice shit when it comes to our transit system, because people, much like at home, don't know how to treat their home, don't know how to treat shit that's out in the public for people of everybody, of all race, creed, all that shit to enjoy, right? So, the self-accountability. She's pointing the finger at everybody else, but does not point the finger at herself for, yeah, you know what, I should have gone about this much differently. You know what, me losing my book deal, you know, that kind of serves me right, because, no, does a punk-ass move, is suing the publishing company for $13 million. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I don't think she's going to get that full amount. I think two things are either going to happen. I think she's either going to be able to settle this out of court for a much smaller amount, or the case gets thrown out and she doesn't get not one fucking dime. Now, if you were to ask me straight up which one seems more likely, if she has the smoking gun of email transcripts and all that, of them saying they had her back, blah this, blah that, I mean, that might pursue a jury to a degree, maybe, but I don't know if that would be enough to get her fucking money. I'm gonna lean more towards she's not getting any money. I would be very surprised if they settle it out of court, right? But that kind of ties on back to what we were just talking about earlier. AEW, got some AEW news for you guys. By the way, for you guys that's waiting for me to talk about Raw and SmackDown, what the fuck do I have to talk about for Raw and SmackDown this week? I said it on Twitter. I can't remember who I had said it to, sadly. I never thought that in 2019 it would become more and more difficult to sit through an episode of Raw and SmackDown. I mean, I remember when SmackDown made the move to Tuesday nights. What was it, last year, it feels like? They were on such a fucking roll. And now SmackDown isn't even, well, at least we got SmackDown. It's almost like getting to that point where SmackDown's even starting to become unwatchable. The person that I was talking to on social media the other day, I said, I never thought that in 2019, of all the wrestling promotions, and I check out a lot of them, I never thought in 2019 alone I would find myself making WWE Raw and SmackDown be the bottom of my list to check out. Previous years, I would watch both shows in real time. I was okay. But in 2019, I found myself recording them, watching them on the DVR so I can fast forward through the bullshit, fast forward through the commercials, get to the good stuff. I never thought in 2019 I would be doing. I can do it just for those guys. Every other promotion, I'm watching all of their shit. I'm into it. But for WWE, right down to the point, you see the numbers that came out for Raw this week. What was it? The second lowest new lowest? I mean, they just keep hitting these. What was the viewership? 2.1 something whatever, 2.1485 million viewers for Monday night. It's, on a good note, we saw the new logo for SmackDown. I like the new logo. The logo looks pretty cool. It kind of has it's tough. It's got an edgy type of feel to it. Kind of in your face. Kind of kick ass. I kind of like it. There was a lot that I could tell from looking at that image. It's so much more than WWE unveiled the new logo for SmackDown. It looks cool. If you really sit down and look at it, you're kind of getting the impression of everything that I had just said. Now, whether that's going to translate well when they do this deal this fall, Fox moving, or rather WWE SmackDown moving to Fox this fall, we'll have to wait and see. But I got nothing to really say about Raw or SmackDown this week. If there's something noteworthy you want me to bring up, hey, what was your thoughts on, you can bring up the subject and I'll give you my thoughts, but I don't really have anything kind to say, so I'm gonna keep it moving along and go to some other fun wrestling news, little tidbits. AEW, in case you missed it, they signed former WWE superstar Ty Dillinger, now known as Shawn Spears. Hey, that's a good grab. I know there's a lot of people that's looking at the Shawn Spears, the Jon Moxleys, the Jim Rosses, the Badass Billy Gunns, the Dustin Rhodes, the Chris Jerichos, and I get it. There's people that's going, the fuck is going on with AEW? These guys are starting to become WWE Lite. Like, what the hell? There's nothing wrong with, and I keep saying this, and I've said it a lot over the years. Once these wrestlers have met all of their obligations to said company, they fulfilled all of their commitments, live appearances, the whole 9 yards, their contract for whatever. Once it expires, they are officially a free agent. If they choose to not check out, if they choose to no longer want to work with that promotion, then that is their right. So let me ask you something, because you spent 17 years working at Burger King and you decide, okay, I'm going to give the company a nice good heads up. I'm going to give them a month's notice. I'll train my replacement, all that good jazz. I'm going out on a good high note. You meet all of your shift commitments, even pick up some extra shifts here and there, being a real team player on your way out the fucking door. Okay, you're done. You are no longer obligated to Burger King. Now what are you going to do with yourself? Well, I don't know. I got to be honest, with my experience and with everything that I've heard about Chick-fil-A, man, I think I'd make a really good transition over at Chick-fil-A. Money is better healthcare coverage, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to go see if I can go work at Chick-fil-A. All right, you get hired at Chick-fil-A. What, am I supposed to, and everybody else that were former customers of yours over at Burger King, are we now supposed to look at you now that you're working for Chick-fil-A? And are we now supposed to call you Burger King Lite? Are we supposed to call you a traitor or some shit like that? I don't think so. I don't think so. So the sooner that we all really start unlocking our minds and ditching this whole, WWE Lite and look, do I think AEW is going to go overkill on signing former WWE talent? No, I do not think so. At the same time, AEW, they're not being stupid. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. If you think for 1 second that AEW is going to keep doing these pay-per-views, do these weekly TV shows, and there's just going to be average fucking Joe wrestling average fucking Joe on there, you got another thing coming. Let's keep it 100 right now. How many of you that watch Double or Nothing and you watched the hour-long pre-show and you saw that Battle Royal, be honest with yourselves, how many of you all were like, Okay, where's not necessarily a big name, but where's a name that, hey, cool, right? Where's a Ryback, or where's a, God, I don't know, where's a Stephen Amell? Where is, insert name here, right? You didn't get any of those guys. Where's a Tommy Dreamer? Where's a RVD? How about a fucking Sabu? Where's a David Arquette? You didn't get any of those. You did not get any of those. So don't think for 1 second that you're going to keep getting a product where it's just a bunch of new fucking faces. Let me tell you something. And see, this is how you really know who's really watching their fucking wrestling promotions. Because let me tell you something. I remember when Impact Wrestling, not that long ago, I want to say maybe about a year and a half ago, Impact Wrestling, you just turned the channel on one day, you didn't recognize no fucking body. You're like, where's the household names? Where's the names that? And it was like, ain't nobody here. Where's no longer here? Well, what about he went back to WWE? Well, where's he retired? Well, what about gone, long gone? Who the fuck are these guys? Where's that one little, okay, I'll stick around? This is all, you got to think about the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is you're flipping through those channels. You're that pro wrestling fan. You're flipping through those channels. You come across a wrestling promotion. Oh, hey. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, a little bit of wrestling. What we got going on here? Hey, that action looks pretty. Hey, that's a good looking kid. Kid's got a nice physique. Holy shit, look at that fucking flip. Whoa, man, that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna pull up a little bit. I think I might watch this for a little bit. Let me just recline this on back here. Oh yeah, this looks good. This shit looks good. Yeah. Oh, who they got coming up next? Hey, it's blah, 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 blah. I ain't seen him in a minute. Oh, I gotta stick around for that. That's what it's all about, man. It's all about hooking those casual viewers. That's what it is all about. They only need, but just, honestly, if you ask me straight up, if the rumblings are true that AJ Lee and CM Punk, I'm not gonna hold my breath. But if it's true, man, after, let's just say hypothetically speaking, if it goes down, that combined with the current roster, they're good. They're good. I am more interested in seeing a promotion really do their very best to properly utilize the household names that they have with them working in front of the cameras, but more so, and not just putting brand awareness out there for AEW, but also helping elevate the up and coming roster. That's what I care about the most. And Impact Wrestling had a nice little formula that was going on there for a hot minute until everything just went to shits. And that's the guys, the honest truth. We were talking about Shawn Spears earlier, Ty Dillinger. He's also been booked for the Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling promotion down in Florida on June the 14th. He's also been booked by the Smash Wrestling promotion in Toronto July 6th. And then the day after that, he's going to be out in London. So, I mean, look, that's good for him. I'm happy for the guy. I pictured so many cool marketing things with him in the WWE. One thing that I always thought, WWE, what the fuck? Jump on it already. I'm looking at this guy and all I see is money. He keeps coming out 10. Okay, I want to sell some Ty Dillinger 10 finger foams or whatever. People can put them on and 10, or put the 10 symbol on your hands and just, 10 or some shit like that, or 2 5s, whatever. They missed a lot with that dude. A lot. There was so much revenue that they could have made off of him, merchandise wise. They did not capitalize. Triple H, NXT, they knew exactly how to use that guy. and it just did not resonate well when he came to the main roster, despite the fact that, you know, the fans, I mean, you remember when he popped up, it was like, hey, it's 10. Yeah, that could have been such an awesome running gag. It really, really would have. That would have been. And they missed out on a really great opportunity to have him feud with Kurt Hennig's kid. Because that would have been fucking amazing in itself. Or doing some type of a stable, you know, some type of a, I don't know, call it perfection or whatever. They really missed out on a lot of cool shit. Also, AEW, they've announced Jon Moxley is going to be taking on Kenny Omega for the upcoming All Out pay-per-view. If you guys recall the main event for All Out, it's going to feature Hangman Page, Adam Page, taking on Chris Jericho to crown the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Remember, All Out's going to be going down Saturday, August 31st at the Sears Center. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. For you guys that need to be in front of your computers, I wouldn't trust the cell phones, man. Be in front of your computers. Tomorrow, tickets go on sale noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. Sticking to AEW a little bit longer, they've got the Fyter Fest show, the AEW and CEO gaming event that is known as Fyter Fest. Apparently this is going to be a event that will be streaming live for free. Again, it's going to be streaming live for free. Saturday, June 29th from Daytona Beach, Florida. Tickets for this is going to be going on sale. Looks like tickets have already gone on sale. They went on sale this Wednesday. So hopefully you'll be able to grab a couple of more tickets. But Kenny Omega, he revealed that the event includes a Bleacher Report Live logo, website. Looks like it's supposed to be a Bleacher Report Live event that's going to air at 8 p.m. Eastern that night. But again, that Fyter Fest is going to be streaming for free. Basically, AEW's marketing strategy, they wanted to do something that would really help put even more eyes on the product, branding awareness. So marketing wise, they just felt from a promotional standpoint, it made a lot of sense to let this event be free. I think that's kind of cool. I really do. I think that's kind of cool how they're doing it. Matches announced so far: Jay Bailey versus Michael Nakazawa. The Elites, Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega take on Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. and a mystery partner. Cody Rhodes will be facing Darby Allin. Jon Moxley, he's going to be making his AEW in-ring debut against Joey Janela. And Hangman Adam Page will face MJF, also Jungle Boy, and Jimmy Havoc. It's going to be a fatal four-way matchup. Shout out to Rafael Morphy. He has started with All Elite Wrestling. He previously had worked as WWE Senior Director of Live Event Marketing, handling their live event department. He also worked with the New York Mets before the WWE and the New York Cosmos after WWE. He had a brief stint in Impact Wrestling, MLW, House of Hardcore. He is the right-hand man of Jim Ross. And I met Raphael at the DC Improv a couple of years back when Jim Ross was doing his one-man show, because Raphael was representing GR, I think, as his agent. And I remember when me and everybody else were waiting in line to meet JR and everything, Raphael had came over to us, did some side talk, asked us, for some of us, he asked us where were we from, and if we were excited about the show. And he was real nice, approachable guy. I only talked with him for just a hot minute, but came off as a really cool, nice fucking dude. So I'm happy to hear that for him. From what I've heard about him, seems like a really solid dude. Also, You Bret Hart fans, if you're living in the Alaska area, I know there's a couple of RCWR Nation over there in Alaska. WrestlePro, I want you to remember that promotion because Bret Hart is going to be making his first ever appearance in Alaska, believe it or not. Wish I was kidding. He's making his first ever appearance in Alaska. It's going to be happening at the WrestlePro event on December 7th at the Sullivan Arena. So check that out. Again, the name of the promotion is WrestlePro. I don't know their wrestling website offhand, but I'm sure if you typed in WrestlePro, being Google search, you should be able to get it. I want to say the site was WrestlePro Online. I could be wrong with that, but don't quote me on that. Also, MTV, they've announced that The Rock is going to be receiving the Generation Award at the 2019 MTV Movie and TV Awards. This was established in 2005. It basically is their Lifetime Achievement Award, if you will. They recognize celebrities that have made great achievements in movies, and so far, as far as like recipients, you know, Sandra Bullock, Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt. So now Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the recipient of that. You can watch that award show Monday, the 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Very curious how the ratings are going to be doing compared to Monday Night Raw during that second hour, now that pretty much you don't have to worry about NHL or NBA action anymore. And shout out to my girl Nia Jax. Nia Jax is looking really fucking good. It's been 7 weeks now since she had surgery on both of her goddamn knees, remember? And I saw the workout video of her. She was doing squats with weights, and my girl looks good. Remember, I was on this show when the injury had went down, and I was very classy with the words that I had to say about Nia Jax, which was basically, you know, Nia, baby, you got to do everything you can to shed a little bit of that weight off, because with all of that weight that you have on, you know, that's really doing some serious wear and tear on the legs, particularly the knees. So you got to do everything in your power to, you know, try to take some of that weight off, help you move a lot quicker in the long haul and everything. And I said back then, I said, you know, honestly, if she could lose about, 40 pounds, that could like go a long ways. And at the time that we're doing this show right now, I mean, homegirl looks like she's dropped at least 25 pounds. I mean, she looks great. She is taking the conditioning and the rehab seriously, and I like that. I like what I'm seeing of her. I gotta tell you, I miss her. I actually miss Nia Jax. I've always had a soft spot for Nia Jackson. I'm just tongue twisted just thinking about her. So sorry about the but no, I legitimately miss her. I miss seeing her in the ring. I look forward to seeing her come back. I know she was catching a lot of heat from some wrestling fans, but you know what? You get her the right opponent, like 2 times that she was locking it up with Ronda Rousey. Man, I tell you, it was like those 2 matches that she had with Ronda was like the best that she's had since she's been on the main roster so far. And, some nights you get that Nia Jax that, okay, she's on a mission to prove a little something here. I just can't wait for her to come back, because not only is she going to be able to pick up right where she left off, but I mean, she's going to come back so much better and stronger than before. I see nothing but great big things happening for her, and I sincerely mean that. She just got to stay healthy. That's all she's got to do. All she got to do is just stay healthy, and she will be all right. Sad news for Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan, he is getting a divorce from his soon-to-be wife, Laura James. You remember they made headlines back in 2016 when he popped a question to her. It was during a intergender, I don't know if it was a tag match or whatever, but yeah, they got married after that, and According to TMZ and the documents that they were able to obtain, they've actually been separated for about 11 months, and they're citing irreconcilable differences. Look, it happens all the time. I mean, it does. You know, couples fall out. Doesn't necessarily mean, you know, extramarital affairs or anything like that. Nothing of that nature. It's just you can legitimately have a case where two people just fall out of love with each other. One ship's going one way, another ship's going the other way. And the best thing that you can do at that point is just work together to have a peaceful divorce. And, you know, it sucks, but I mean, look, you can't feel that sorry for Joey Ryan. I mean, after all, the man is able to charge X amount of money for people to touch his dick. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that wouldn't mind touching his dick for free. I mean, I'm just saying, all right, just keeping it real. So you can't really feel too sorry for him, because very shortly somebody will be touching all up on his dick and he'll be happy. So, you know, you really can't feel sorry for him when it's all said and done. Other than that, I want to leave you with this. As far as one big thing, something new that we try to do each week on the show. One big thing, something randomly that just kind of really caught my eye, that just really makes me go, tell me I did not just see that. So this is a story that I'm sure a lot of you guys probably don't know about, but once I tell you this story, go out of your way and research this, because it's a hell of a story. So, and it happened out here in the nation's capital. So check this out. There is a store out here. I think it's called the Music C. I think it's the Music C store. It's in Northwest DC. It's in Tenleytown. I bring this up because you can't make this shit up. So Saturday, you had a guy that broke into this store and he stole a saxophone. It was a Cannonball saxophone. And if you know a thing or two about jazz and all that, you know about the Gerald Albrights, right? You know, Dizzy Gillespie's and all those other great jazz artists, right? Well, if you know anything about the Cannonball saxophone, get that later. You know that costs a pretty penny. Now, how much of a pretty penny? Don't mind me, I made a little spill, so I'm trying to clean it up here. For those of you wondering what am I doing during the live stream here, now you know. The saxophone cost about $4,400, right? So, lady that owns this store, she's telling the story. She's heartbroken. She's like, please, if anybody could help, would really appreciate it. So, I don't know how or why, but this motherfucker just, after midnight, breaks into the store, smashes down the glass that's in the door, holding it or whatever, comes through there, specifically goes for the Cannonball saxophone, and then walks back out. So you hear that, you go, wow, like, you already broke in, you're not stealing anything else, you're just going in there for the fucking Cannonball sax? Oh, alright, whatever, dude. So, before the weekend is out, the fucking thing is found at an apartment complex. Yes, you heard me right. It is found at an apartment complex. So, Good Samaritan gets in contact with the local authorities, brings it on back. Alright, the owner is reunited with the sax. But wait, the story doesn't end there. It gets even more fucking bizarre. And it makes you think from a PR standpoint, you sure this woman just isn't doing this shit just to bring attention to her fucking store so she can get some sales up or whatever? But no, it gets worse and crazier and fucking funny. So, from the time that her store was broken into, which was like Saturday night after midnight, she gets reunited with the sax, I think like Sunday, right? But then you don't even make it into fucking Tuesday. And the motherfucker, and they were able to establish this, the same motherfucker breaks into the store again, steals the same fucking sax. And so you're like, wow, what the fuck? What are the odds of this shit happening? Like seriously. So the lady is pleading once again, yeah, if the public can help me out, blah, 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 blah. Right. Now you guys are probably hearing this story And you're probably saying, Lee, that's got to be the end of the story, dog. Like, twice? He's just going to be a lot smarter this time. Nah, my pretty babies. It gets even funnier and more stupider. So, the saxophone gets found again. This time, one of her employees is on the train. I'm assuming the red line, right? It's got to be the red line. I don't know, but it's on the train. One of her employees. And he sees the case, because apparently there was like a unique case that this cannonball sax is in or whatever. And like, that's the thing with these cannonball saxes. Like, if one is sold in DC, it's like safe to say I know exactly where that sax came from, like the store. Because it's like, there's only one store that carries that motherfucker, and it's blah 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 at blah 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 blah, right? And the unique case that comes with it and all that. So the employee sees this and he alerts the authorities, and so they apprehend him. Turns out, yeah, got the sax, give it back to homegirl, and now the motherfucker is facing charges. If that's not a wild ass fucking story, that's a wild ass fucking story. Now, my one big thing, aside from that story, I mean, because that is one big thing, but aside from that, is this. Look, anybody that knows a thing or two about Northwest DC, crime happens everywhere, right? But it's what you do from a security standpoint to help ensure that something like that doesn't happen again. I don't need to be all long-winded with this. Here's the point that I'm making. If after your store is broken into the first go-round, you're trying to tell me that in that area of Tinleytown, me, my friends, my woman grew up in Tinleytown. Okay, so I mean, cop presence is felt in that particular area. So what I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around is, after her store was broken into, police just, I don't know, out the kindness of their heart, wasn't kind of patrolling around the area for at least a week just to make sure, just in case somebody comes back, we got it on lockdown, we're good to go, right? Okay. It doesn't happen. All right, maybe we can say, we got more important things to do, like some kid got shot in Southeast. Sorry, can't help you. Okay, fine. You're telling me the store owner could not get, I don't know, $50, $60 together, for that weekend where her store was broken into? You're telling me she couldn't hire somebody for a few nights to just specifically do graveyard? Just do like 6 hours. Pretty much you leave once the sun comes up, right? Half now, you get the other half when I come in. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do some shit like that to ensure that, hey, if somebody tries to come back, okay, well, they're going to have a nice little rude awakening because somebody's going to be here waiting on them with a fucking shotgun or whatever, right? Okay, we don't go in that direction. All right, whatever. Okay, well, damn, lady, why you got an almost $5,000 saxophone hanging up on your wall? And it's, from a security standpoint, that fucking easy to break into your joint and take it off the fucking wall. I don't know. Here's an idea. Why not get some, it can't be that hard. Why not get some fucking dummy replicas, hang them up on the wall, say, oh yeah, I got the legit thing that looks just like that. Yep, it looks just like that. How much? Oh, it's going to be $5,000. You walk into any other place, you get like a dummy demo plastic version of, XYZ. Or if you are able to gain access to something that is the real thing is usually attached. I mean, you got to move heaven and fucking earth and have a fucking truck in order to fucking, all right, I got it. All right, I got the chain around it. Let's go. Come on. Beep, beep, beep. And pull that motherfucker out and go driving along your happy little merry fucking go away, right? So, for me, it was just so weird hearing that story. And hearing how, just from a security standpoint, now look, maybe she did some stuff that the news did not cover. I doubt it though, because they would have mentioned it. But to hear of her store being broken into in less than 72 hours. Twice in 72 hours by the same crackhead. Blows my mind. Look that story up. That will just amaze you, because on top of the story, the surveillance footage and just the way that this guy moved, he moved in such a way. See, I know a thing or two about security. I also know a thing or two about having to read people's body language and all that other stupid shit. This looked like a motherfucker that has frequented the store before, because when you go back and you see how he was able to he didn't move in there and was like, what am I getting? What am I getting? He moved directly in there with fucking purpose. And Double D, I gotta agree, man. It kind of feels like maybe it was an inside job. Something just does not seem right about it. It really, really doesn't. You know, I tell you this much, my girl needs some better glass windows. Like, I know you're trying to look all cool and everything because you're Tinleytown. Ain't nothing wrong with getting them steel chain link type of thing so that a motherfucker can't keep kicking your fucking glass in and then get inside your joint that way, right? I don't know, just that whole thing just... But look it up online. Look it up when you get a chance. The video surveillance alone is worth it. He goes in there, I swear, it's like he's been in there. Watch his body language. It's like he's been in there before, knows exactly where everything is, with ease. With ease. Now, maybe you could say, oh, the second time, no problem, right? Because the first time he was just looking around. No, the first time you see the motherfucker go in there. Okay, I'm in. I mean, it was like in, out. He knew exactly what he was fucking... My kind of guy, because that's how I am when it comes to my shopping. I know you ladies, you're like, oh, and then I gotta go do this, and then let's go walk over here, and then we're gonna go walk over there, and then we're gonna go do this, and, you know, just look, you tell me, hey, go grocery shopping, I already know what I need to go get. And no, it isn't if it looks yummy, it goes in the fucking basket. I just already know what I need to get. I need milk, I need cereal, I need yogurt, I need bread, I need lunch meat, I need cheese. I gotta wipe my ass. I need tissue. All right. Yeah. What else? I need shampoo. I need deodorant. I'm just boom, 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 boom. Right? So the way that dude was moving in there, it was like, I'm a man on a mission. I know what I'm here for. I know what I need to get. In, out. Let's go. Crazy shit, man. Shout out Double D. Gino. Appreciate the super chat. Super chats are always appreciated, as always. Double A, what's up, Double A? Can't believe everything you read on the internet these days. You have to do some research. Yes, very true from what I had said earlier. Very, very fucking true, my friend. So yeah, a random show that we did on a Thursday night. I know it will pick up more traction on demand, so I do appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream because, I mean, man, 30 minutes in and the NBA Finals is on right now. So remember, we're back to Tuesday nights. I'm sure that'll make a lot more listeners happy. I know some people haven't really been enjoying the move to Wednesday nights and all that. So I'm happy that we're going to be coming on back to Tuesday nights. I miss Tuesday nights. I got to admit, I miss Tuesday nights. Especially from the standpoint of we would normally come on after SmackDown and just kind of feeding off of that and then pretty much just going from there. But I do appreciate you guys that have been able to check out the show these past couple of weeks at our temporary new day and time. It's going to be nice to go back to the Tuesdays, though. So remember, Tuesday, 10 p.m., your next edition is dropping on, what is that? Tuesday the 18th. Again, Tuesday the 18th. It's going to be dropping for you guys. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you may have missed on demand and on the downloads. Great sounding platforms. Use the keywords the RCWR show. You can get at me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords the RCWR show. Quick story, not even a 5-minute story. You all may have noticed that the Twitter account was down last week. Long story short, Twitter had temporarily restricted my account because they have felt that there was some unusual activity that was going on. Basically, they felt that some of the stuff that was being put out there was spam, and it wasn't spam at all. Like the last thing I had tweeted about one of the NBA games. It wasn't even the game where Kevin Durant had got his injury. I think it was the game before that. And all of a sudden, and it was a bitch to get the account back because I no longer had access to a old cell phone number. And the only way I could prove basically it was me, I wasn't a bot, was to enter the SMS code. And I did not have that because I couldn't access. I was so desperate, I even tried to message whoever was now the new owner of that phone number. And the phone is dead. I mean, that number, like, it's not active. So I had to end up getting in contact with Twitter support, laying out to them, hey, look, you guys did this in error, and pretty much it was just a wait game. I know some people, a lot of people, from what I was researching, they've got caught up in that type of shit in the past, and it's a bit frustrating for them. Look, is there a waiting period involved? Yeah, I mean, in my case, my account was restored, I would say, within about 4 days. My account was restored. Maybe you'll have better luck. I think it just all depends on how short to the point you are and when you contact Twitter and, making your very valid points. In my case, I told him, I said, look, I've been a member of the press media since 2012. All I talk about is wrestling, TV shows, sports, movies. You guys did this in era, can you all reactivate it? And, that pretty much was it. So, patience is the best thing that I can say. Otherwise, it'll drive you fucking crazy. But if there's one other thing to learn from this is when you feel lazy and you feel like, I don't want to update my phone number. I'm good. Never assume that, because you just never know when something weird could happen. So for all your social media apps and all that, your accounts, make sure that your phone number is up to date. That way, if you have a case come about where you get locked out or some shit, you'll be okay. And trust me, you'll thank yourself, and you'll definitely thank me later. For real. All right, that's going to do it. Get at me on Twitter at the RCWR Show. I'm going to be tweeting about the NBA game right now. And for everybody else, Patreon members, you guys are going to get the hookup this weekend. I promise. Now that I'll have some free time. So check that out. And everybody else, we will check you guys out next Tuesday. Be safe. Be kind to one another. I'll see you all next go round. Adios.